In this podcast episode, the conversation with Emily McDonald, one of the most followed neuroscientists globally, covers a wide range of intriguing topics centered around neuroscience and its practical implications. They discuss the nature of reality as constructed by the brain, the psychological and neurological effects of AI usage, the power of mindset and discipline, the dynamics of brainwave synchronization, the impact of complaining on mental health, and practical strategies for rewiring the brain to foster success and well-being. The episode further explores identity-based motivation, the reticular activating system's role in perception, and the importance of surrounding oneself with positive influences. Emily opens by sharing a fascinating kitten study demonstrating how early environmental exposure shapes the brain's ability to perceive the world. Kittens raised with only horizontal or vertical stripes struggled to interpret regular objects afterward, proving the brain develops its reality construct based on learned sensory inputs. Extending this, she explains that color itself is a brain-made construct, not an inherent physical property. This neurological framework implies that our experience of reality is subjective and malleable, meaning changing brain wiring can unlock new opportunities and realities previously invisible to us. They explore the reticular activating system, RAS, a brain mechanism that filters countless sensory inputs into a limited conscious experience. Priming the RAS by focusing on specific goals, feelings, or ideas adjusts this filtering system, allowing us to notice aligned opportunities and reinforce pathways in the brain that relate to those focuses. Emily illustrates this with examples such as choosing a random object and suddenly seeing it repeatedly, or writing about feeling powerful before an important event, which significantly improves performance by shifting brain activation patterns. Emily challenges conventional notions of discipline, reframing it as nervous system regulation rather than forced control. Discipline connects deeply with self-trust, reliability, and follow-through, traits that neuroscience confirms are attractive to others. When you consistently follow through on commitments, your brain learns to trust you, which radiates outward, influencing how others perceive your confidence and stability. Conversely, a lack of discipline inhibits self-trust and can manifest as nervous system dysregulation, which others can subconsciously sense, making it unattractive. The conversation delves into how brainwave patterns naturally sync between people during communication or coordinated activities, such as dancing or synchronized swimming. This synchronization strengthens social bonds, explains why we feel connected to certain people, and why we can often finish their sentences. Emily points out that biochemical signals, including stress-related chemosignals, also transmit nonverbal emotional states between individuals, impacting group dynamics even in subtle ways like sensing residual stress in a vacant room. Complaining, judging, and criticizing are discussed as behaviors that negatively affect brain function. Such negative thought patterns activate neuroplasticity but reinforce stress pathways and diminish the prefrontal cortex's capacity, the brain area responsible for logical thinking and emotional regulation. Importantly, neuroscience shows that venting must conclude with cognitive reappraisal, reframing the situation with a new perspective or action plan to avoid reinforcing negativity. Otherwise, habitual complaining perpetuates a cycle of worsening mental well-being. Emily shares personal strategies for positive self-talk that regulates the nervous system and boosts dopamine, enhancing motivation and performance. Praising oneself during small achievements acts as a powerful reward mechanism that strengthens neural circuits tied to success. This positivity is also crucial in interpersonal relationships, where expressing appreciation and positive expectations increases cooperation and desirable behaviors more effectively than criticism or negativity. Referencing a long-term Harvard study, the discussion touches on how pessimism and negativity correlate with shorter lifespans. Chronic stress induced by negative thought patterns accelerates aging at the cellular level by shortening telomeres, protective chromosomal end caps. Loving-kindness meditation appears to counteract this effect by lengthening telomeres, thus potentially extending lifespan and improving overall health, especially in women. The practice involves sending positive wishes, even to strangers or adversaries, activating neural circuits associated with compassion and positivity. Addressing struggles with body image, Emily highlights how identity shapes perception and physical reality. The brain's construction of self-image can create discrepancies between objective reality and felt experience, such as in body dysmorphia. By shifting identity and priming the brain with positive affirmations and intentional focus on health and fitness behaviors, one can effectively placebo the brain to support physical changes. Mind-muscle connection, visualization, and mindset around nutrition are practical tools for reinforcing a healthier self-image. The conversation explores the neuroscience behind obsession and all-in devotion as drivers of success. Extreme focus increases neuroplasticity by repeatedly activating relevant neural pathways coupled with emotional intensity, which is necessary for profound change and goal attainment. Emily disputes the conventional notion of balance during intense growth phases, describing balance more as cyclical waves rather than constant equilibrium. She advocates for strategic periods of focused output with intentional rest and input phases, emphasizing the need for a strong purpose, why, to sustain hard work without burnout. A key topic is the rapidly emerging impact of AI tools on the brain. Emily cites a recent MIT study showing that heavy AI reliance compared to traditional search methods reduces brain engagement and critical thinking over time. AI summarizes and supplies answers, bypassing the cognitive effort needed to synthesize multiple sources and form independent judgments. She adds personal observations, noting how AI conversation tools diminished her internal self-dialogue practice, a vital process for creativity and problem-solving, leading her to consciously return to talking with herself to preserve intuition and cognitive autonomy. The discussion acknowledges challenges posed by AI-generated misinformation and fabricated studies masquerading as factual content, illustrating with viral but false studies and AI-produced personas spreading misleading ideas. Emily stresses the importance of scientific literacy, skepticism, and cross-referencing multiple credible sources, especially meta-analyses when evaluating research. Intuition and personal experience remain valuable alongside data. She encourages listeners to trust their own internal guidance while maintaining a habit of verifying facts to counteract biases and the flux of low-quality digital content. Emily reveals that her successful content approach stems not from deliberate psychological manipulation, but from authentic excitement and personal connection with her audience. Her videos perform best when she feels energized about the topic and shares information in a natural conversational style. She emphasizes testing content on trusted friends who understand her vision before wider release, and acknowledges that polarizing content indicating strong personal conviction often leads to greater impact and engagement. Throughout the episode, the importance of curating one's social environment emerges as critical. Emily recommends surrounding oneself with people who support and reflect desired growth rather than draining energy or dampening aspirations. This selective socializing extends to digital consumption, urging caution about the emotional effect of social media feeds and the content we absorb. Positive interactions and information prime the brain to filter reality optimistically, while negativity conditions stress and neurobiological decline. Finally, practical tools for managing moments of overwhelm are discussed. Recognizing when feelings stem from physical needs such as hunger, fatigue, or stress can avoid misattributing deeper meaning to transient states. Labeling emotions engages the prefrontal cortex, improving logic and emotional regulation. Moments of self-talk or humor, such as playful reminders to refresh oneself, like sending a Snickers meme, serve as pattern interrupts to break cycles of negativity and reset brain states toward productivity and calm.